The Rockets are a team that still talks about losing Chris Paul last year or they would have won, and still talks about the officials. And now here you've got the situation. You've no KD. You've got everything in the world going on your side. It sort of feels like for the Rockets, if you're not going to get it done now, when are you going to get it done?
It would be never, really. I mean, look, the West, there's bigger picture stuff we can talk about with this summer where I think a lot of teams are going to go, wait a minute, if Golden State loses Durant, then it's wide open. If different things happen in the East, then it's wide open. So GMs may look at the league and go, you know what, I'm actually fine. So it's not ruling out that Houston could actually do something next year. But it's a bigger point to what you're saying, Greeny. So much pressure is on Harden. We know the playoff rep. Those things are real. And I think his year this year is an incredible form of redemption that I didn't even think was possible. After the way Houston played in Game 7 and losing to Golden State last year, and for him to maybe win the MVP because of how well he played and carried this team when they had this mental hangover at the beginning of the year, if they don't beat them without Durant, and Harden also has this other bad game, like I didn't think he could repair his image 12 months ago we were talking about. He did it. But then again, I don't know that he'd be able to if they can't get past them without KD.
And so, Woj, I turn to you again, and I ask, to what degree are we looking at a referendum on the futures of these two teams, depending on how this thing goes, or one way or the other? It feels like the Rockets' last best chance. If they get knocked out now without Kevin Durant on the floor, do they consider shaking up what they have right now in the mix?
Well, listen, they're tied into Chris Paul. He's got a lot of money still going forward. He's going to be a part of that Houston team. But they want to win while Chris is still as close to his prime as he's going to be. Each year removed, you're going to get less from him. They're in the middle of James Harden's prime. But great players like Chris Paul and James Harden who keep knocking on their door in their career the way they used to have, they usually break through. And again, this isn't the NBA Finals. This isn't the conference finals. We're talking about the conference semifinals. But I like their chances to get one win in these next two games and get past Golden State without Durant in there.
All right, we'll see if they're able to do that. Again, the Rockets would need to win both of these games to advance. And on the other side, I mean, to what degree does this injury impact Kevin Durant? With the speculation about his future has been rampant from the beginning of the year. It's been the biggest story in the sport, basically, from the beginning of this season. Now he gets hurt. If they go out here, if the Rockets do win these two games and the Warriors go out, does that impact KD's future in your mind?
Yeah, like Kawhi, I think Kevin Durant's making decisions based beyond the result. He knows if he stays in Golden State and they're healthy, they can come back and run off 3 more if they want. It's not a question of, do I think I can win in Golden State? It's, I think a lot of the question is going to be, do I want to be the guy? And that has nothing to do with whether they advance here, lose to Houston, or go on and win a title. KD's making a different decision.
Yeah, I couldn't agree. Like, I think it's so consistent with so many of these guys that I think we're all getting it wrong on, like, what matters. And the fact that these guys have won. Durant went there to try to figure out a way to be basketball happy, and yet he's still kind of miserable. Are you surprised, Woj, that he ended up not like having as much fun with the Golden State thing, or maybe it didn't go the way, even though they've had the success, that maybe he didn't get the adulation he thought he'd get?
Yeah, and it was surprising, especially after they win the championship, and he's the Finals MVP, and he spent part of that summer, clapping back at people on social media, and you want to say, Kevin, you won. You answered the questions. You don't have to defend yourself on anything. And he still kind of was doing that. And, it'll be interesting to see, what does he want? What does he value? What's important to him? And that'll be very evident in the kind of decision he makes this summer.